Hey everybody, welcome to Adventures Across. My name is Ashley. So we had a pretty busy week this week. Summertime just seems to be like that time of year where you're just like always busy. We've been doing so much. I think I told you guys before that we're preparing for a trip and we're still making plans for it. We're still booking accommodations and doing couch surfing and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely like that takes up a lot of time. And then I also decided that I wanted to take my business more seriously here, this Adventures Across platform. And I mean, with anything, even if you have like a job, it just takes time. You have to give your time to this. And I mean, you see people on YouTube, you see people with blogs, and you're just like, wow, they're so lucky. They have so much free time. They have so much freedom. And it's true in a sense. It's like freedom to express yourself how you want and freedom to be your own boss, but it still comes with a lot of work. Lots of hours get put into this, guys. So I've been working on that. And I also decided to sign up for a mastermind course for self-published authors. And I mentioned this on like every one of my videos, but I have 2 books out right now. One of them is called A Year Against the Rain, and the other one is called Morning Motivations. And like, I didn't know anything about marketing for self-published authors, so I basically just put them out into the world and nothing ever happened to them. I'm working on that and taking this course, and I'm really hoping that it'll help me, because I have another book that I'm writing right now, and I want this next book to get out into the world, and I want people to get value out of what I create, and I want to share it with a lot of people because I think it's really important. And I don't know, based on all the content I create, you could kind of see that I'm really into nature and really being out into nature and really into minimalism and really connecting with yourself. So I want to share my message here through my books and through my platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and my blog. So I've been working on that pretty hard. Besides for like businessy stuff, I guess you could say. We've been having a really good week. So usually when Austin's working, I'll be working as well at home. And when he gets home, we'll go and watch the sunset somewhere. So this past week, I think we went 3 times to go and watch the sunset. We went up to Bell Rock, so like you could see Bell Rock in the background, and then you could see the sunset going behind Cathedral Rock the other way. And it's just, I love it. I love watching the sunset here. And it's especially amazing because there's no bugs. You basically just sit on a rock and stare at the sun. One of the nights we decided to stay on Bell Rock for a little bit longer. So what we did was we took this camera here and we did some long exposure photography. So I had Austin sit down on the rock, and then Bell Rock was behind him, and he was doing different things with our headlamp that goes here. There was one picture which was really cool where he would swirl it, and if you know anything about Sedona, then you know that there's energy vortexes here. And then there's, we took some with hearts. He spelled love in one. He made a smiley face, which was pretty cool. I've also been spending a lot of time out in the garden. Everything is growing so good and so fast, and I can hardly keep up with watering it and fertilizing it. I've just been out in the garden working a lot, and I found tomato hornworms, which is like really discouraging. I didn't know that they would be here. I found one that was literally like 5 inches long. I almost shit my pants. Those things freak me out. They're like the one insect that I cannot stand at all. I filmed some other videos while I was out in the garden, so those will be up on my channel sometime. I'm kind of stacking videos, so when we're gone on our vacation, my channel will still be going and you guys can watch. On the 4th of July, our friends from Wisconsin came. They were actually here in northern Arizona for like a vacation for themselves, and they just happened to be coming through Sedona, so they were like, let's meet up. So we decided to go and hike West Fork Trail. And if you don't know what West Fork Trail is, it is one of the most unique ecosystems I've ever seen here in Arizona. There's Sedona, which is about 4,500 elevation, and then there's Flagstaff, which is at different points it could be like 7,000 or it could be higher if you're on the mountain. So in between Sedona and Flagstaff there's this area called the Oak Creek Canyon, and it's a really popular place for people in Arizona to come, especially from Phoenix, to go swimming and stuff. And West Fork Trail the trail can go pretty long, but we only did about 4 miles of it. And it goes along the Oak Creek. I think it's the Oak Creek. And there's these huge sandstone walls that are red, you know, obviously because we're in Sedona. And there's like the creek flowing underneath. And then there's like fields of ferns and other prairie plants that you wouldn't think would be there, but they are. Like plants that we recognize from Wisconsin, like bee balm and, oh, I can't remember some of the other ones. Columbines and those sorts of things, you know, that need a colder climate. So, like there was that, and then there was a forest of ponderosa pines and walnuts and oaks. And it was just so interesting to be in this environment and to be with my friends from Whitewater who worked with me in the garden and out in the prairies, who are also obsessed with plants. So it was a really great time, and it was really great to see them again. I recommend West Fork Trail, but if you're gonna go there, make sure you go early in the morning because the parking lot is small and a lot of people like to hike on that trail. So there's my pointer. And then the next day I had my last appointment for my hand, you know, because I broke my hand, so I had my last doctor's appointment. And the doctor took an x-ray and he like literally jumped like a little kid. He's like, yay, it healed so perfectly, you're all clear. And he was showing me how to do the physical therapy for my hand. So it's interesting, you like have to hold your bone here so you don't put a lot of pressure on your bones, and then I don't know if you could see, but you like, and then another one is to hold right here because I broke my hand right here. You could kind of see the scar. I kind of do it in a certain way, and then you like push it down like this to stretch it. So that was one set of exercises, and then I have to like stretch my hand out. It hurts so bad and it feels like it needs to like crack. All of my knuckles need to crack and stuff. So, and then playing piano is good physical therapy too for it. So I'm going to be doing that when I can. And then after that we went and did a little bit of shopping for our trip coming up because we needed some raincoats. That kind of gives you a clue as to where we are going for 2 weeks. So we bought these rain suits, and they're super funny because they're like bright blue, royal blue, and they're matching. So we are going to be matching in rain suits if it rains there. Then on Saturday we had a day where everyone here at this house, we wrote down a list of things to do the house is a little bit old and there's a lot of things in the house from the previous owners. So, I mean, just things that you don't want. So we made a list of about, it was almost 30 things to do around the house. And we spent the whole day working on them and got quite a few things done, which is really awesome. One of the things was to replace the kitchen sink faucet and install a water filter on the kitchen sink. So Austin did that with Thomas, and then I helped, you know, just clean up some stuff. And downstairs where we live, outside of this room, is a 2-car garage, and outside of the garage is a driveway. And we've been cleaning the garage out. Like, we had to clean this room out when we got here, and just got rid of so much stuff, and it feels so good. And then Sunday, which was yesterday, Austin and I went up to Flagstaff again, and we went to hike on Snow Bowl. If you don't know what Snow Bowl is, it is Arizona's only ski resort. And, you know, in the winter, obviously it's covered in tons of snow, but in the summertime, it is not. And it's covered in meadows of flowers, and then there's also a pine forest with like spruce trees and fir trees, and there's some ponderosas in there. And then surprisingly, there are a ton of fallen logs in there. It just like covered the landscape, and the trail was really dusty. Like, you step on it and dust would fly everywhere. It was so dry, but equally as awesome. So we hiked about, I would say we hiked about 2 miles in, and we came to this clearing that was just all boulders, just like a, if you can imagine an avalanche of boulders going down the hill, or a river of boulders going down the hill, and they were all covered with green and black and brown and gray lichens. They're all jagged, and I don't know which mountain we were on. It might have been Humphrey Mountain, because there's the San Francisco peaks, so there's the different peaks. So we were on one of them, and the whole range is a dormant volcano, so it's all lava rock. Really interesting. So it was just like going downhill, and on either side was the forest edge. So we decided to go and sit on this little part of the forest, this clearing, and we were there for a while and took some pictures and looked out at the landscape below us. And it was all, everything was so green. Flagstaff is so interesting because it's so green and there's so many kinds of trees there, whereas the rest of Arizona is pretty much a desert. Though Sedona is a little interesting because it's partial desert, partial forest. So anyway, we were just looking out at this beautiful landscape. You could see other volcanoes out in the distance, and I think we even saw the crater. There's a crater up in Flagstaff called Sunset Crater. I'm not sure if that's what we saw or not, but it looked like it. So we could see that. Then the forest was on either side of us, and it was freezing up there compared to what we've been used to all summer in the desert here. It was like, it must have been 60 or 65, but we're used to it being 95 or hotter in Sedona, even at nighttime. It was really refreshing to be out in some forest air that was colder, and just feeling the breeze wash over you. We decided to go back, but on our way back we noticed that you could walk underneath one of the ski lifts all the way down. I don't know if we were allowed to do this, but we did it anyway. I mean, I don't see why it would be a big deal, but we basically just cut through a field and then walked down the rest of the ski run, and it it ended up being kind of rocky and grassy, but then as we got more towards the bottom, towards the bunny hill, I guess you could say, there was a field of irises, wild irises. I'm not sure what they exactly are. They were pale purple, and they were in a bunch, like bunches all over the place, so the whole field looked a little bit purple, like pale purple. And then there were also lupins growing everywhere, and those were a little bit darker purple. And then as you got further down, there were other flowers like dandelions and these bright orange sunflowers. I'm not sure what they were called. It was just one of the best hikes I've been on in a really long time. I enjoyed it so much, and if you ever have the chance to go hike Snowball, I would definitely go do that. So I collected a lot of footage this week, and I decided only to put a few snippets of each little thing in this video, but I plan to make separate videos for all of that footage, especially the ones from the hikes, from West Fork Trail and from the hike at Snowball. I'll have between 2 or 3 videos for those out on my channel, and they might not get aired until my trip, so stay tuned for that because it's going to be really cool. Alright guys, that's all for today. There's only 2 more weeks until my trip, and I am super excited, but I'm a little bit nervous too. I think this is going to be something that's going to launch a big new chapter for me, and who knows where I'm going to be going from here. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching this vlog, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week for next week's vlog. See you later. Bye!